Alright, been mudding in here. I was going to compile a video with all the different mudding and everything going on, but I have a little side project going on here. So you see my drywall up and mudded and everything. I've got one more coat to put on before I'm ready to prime. But before I get into all of that, there is a little thing I need to do down here that relates to the toilet. So, just vacuum out of the way. Let me show this to you real quick. So, originally, I was going to put the toilet in here with the shower there, and it was going to be a full-length shower that covered the whole side there, so there was plenty of room for a door to get in the shower and everything. And I wanted the toilet more over this way. One, so I could keep my concrete closer together that I was cutting out. And for two, I wanted to stay away from the breaker box over here, keep my water over on this side. But when I decided to put a washer dryer in here and I shortened the shower up, this distance from the toilet to the shower here is so close now, and the toilet's going to come out like this. And so it really doesn't leave much room to get into the shower. So I talked to my plumber and he agreed to come out and actually move this for me, the toilet connection. So that's actually going to come over to about right here, and that'll give me more space over here to be able to put the shower door in and everything. So that's what I'm going to do. I got a concrete saw. I'm going to cut the concrete out from around the toilet here and come over here some more. That way you can go down there, cut that off, move the toilet, and then I'll cement all that back in. So that's what this video is about, is getting this toilet moved. A lot of work for a little bit of movement, but unfortunately it's the right thing to do. It's what I need to do. So let me go ahead and get started cleaning this up a little bit so I can cut that concrete. What I need to cut. So I put the saw in here beside this to see how close to this I'll be able to cut, and that's where I determined where this line goes. I measured over 18 inches to get this line here and marked it, and I came out 18 inches not from the drywall but from the wood underneath to get this line here. So this is what I'm going to cut out and try to demo today for the plumber. believe it or not, that was not the hard part. I just got to bust up all this concrete. I felt little flecks hit me in the face of concrete, so you always want to wear protective eyewear. I'm running a gas-powered saw. They do have electric saws, but I was running a gas-powered saw indoors, so the doors open, and wearing this ventilation mask. So just take every precaution when you're doing stuff like this. Make sure you're protecting yourself. All right, let me get the saw out of here, and then I'll get ready to tear that concrete up. So my wife and I came out and buried some of this. I can't remember, I think I showed you on another video, but this is everything I dug up for the plumbing and electricity being run to the tiny house. And my son came out here from where that bridge was, which was right about here, and then all the way over he buried all that trench back in, and then all up underneath those trees there. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but he got all that trench buried in. So all my trenches is buried in. And then also, let me show you another thing. Started putting the wood up underneath the soffit up underneath the breezeway. So I might work on that a little bit more today too. We'll see how it goes with this concrete. I need to finish getting that tore up so I can get the saw that I just cleaned up taken back to the rental place. Just splattered that concrete water all over my walls. I was afraid I was going to do that. There we go. Concrete out of the hole. Alright, here's the hole I dug. We've got the old pipe coming in right over here. That goes over to that wet wall. Here's the water line coming in. I got that exposed. I dug a little bit here because this is where I want the new pipe. But I don't know how deep he wants me to make it, so I just stopped digging. I'll let the plumber come in and dig that out where he wants. Right here, I hit it with a sledgehammer. Pretty good sized dent there. I mean, I can mud that. Not a huge deal, but I mean, it's going to take a couple coats of mud. It's just delays, but I'm going to finish everything. I just want to be done with this project. So unfortunately, that's what it is. So what he'll also have to do, it's not just moving this, but he's have to cut a hole in here. He's got to put a valve in there anyways on the spigot that goes outside. So I may just put like a pop out cover here. But this pipe is going to have to be moved over also, so he's going to have to cut another hole over here on the other side of the stud to be able to tie in and pull that out. So there's a little bit extra work now for him to do. Not a huge deal again, but it's all ready for him. I haven't cut any holes in the drywall because I want him to decide where the holes need to go, how big the holes need to be, that sort of thing. So other than that, we're ready for the plumber. So he'll be out here tomorrow. I'll shoot a little more video to show what it looks like after he's done. There we go. Welcome back, everybody. This is the following weekend after I had the plumber come out and do all of his work. I just brought my wheelbarrow in with a couple bags of concrete, and I'm going to mix these up and pour it in the hole. Go ahead and refinish that off. But before I do, let me take the camera and show you what I did. Alright, you should be able to see here that I've got the toilet connection moved. The water pipe here is moved. He had to do a whole bunch of reworking in here. This is where the toilet head used to be, so he came over about a foot or so, maybe a little more, but it's plenty of distance away from the shower curb going into the shower area. So my feet, when I'm wearing my shoes, are actually right at 12 inches. So that's 1, 2, 3 feet to this far side right here. I'm 3 feet away. He got it pretty close to here. I do need to be careful when I'm pouring the concrete in here because this, it's just capped on there loosely. There we go. This will come out. He'll put a new fitting in there for the toilet seal seat, to mount the toilet mount, I guess, to mount the toilet on there. So he'll have to fit something in there, but all of this will be concrete above that height. So this is just in here, first of all, to keep the concrete out of there, and this is on in order to keep the smell from coming back up in here because there's no trap in there. With toilets, the trap's actually built into the toilet itself. So yeah, so when I'm pouring the concrete, I'll just have to pull it away from here somehow a little bit, and that way it's easy for him to make the fitting connection he needs at that time. So you can see he cut this line here. I had him cut all the way over to where the stud is, so it'd be easy to reattach, but I forgot to bring him over to the stud on this side. So this is where I hit it with the sledgehammer when I was tearing the concrete out. I'll just have to patch that. When I tape all this up, I put a piece of wood in here so that we have a nail or two. And then over here, that's just the plug hole for where the water connection used to be. And this is a neat trick. The plumber actually set this up for me, but I've done this before myself. You just take a piece of drywall and you cut the back part and break it so you don't go through the paper on the front, just the paper on the back. Break and chisel the drywall away, then you cut a hole to this size, and there's your tape to be able to mud that piece in there and gives you a nice little finished area. This hole we left in here because there's a pipe right here that goes outside, and I need to put a valve on that pipe, a shut-off valve for the outside spigot, sorry, and I have to leave that hole in there so I can put a little spring-loaded cover on there or something so that I can easily get in there and turn that valve off in the wintertime for winterizing. Well, shoot, thought I hit record on that. I have already floated this thing a couple times, and I'm gonna let it set up a little bit more here before I float it again, but I think it might be solid enough that I can kind of scoop some of this out around this pipe here so that the plumber can get back in there easily and work around this. I have this, it's for tooling, brick and mortar. It's for getting those nice smooth joints in there. And there are two different sizes. This end is a little bit, let's make this up closer to the camera, it's a little bit wider than the other end. The idea is when you have that mortar joint in between bricks, you can come back after the mortar is set up a little bit and you can come through with this tool and tool those joints, and then it gives you a nice smooth finish inside there. Doesn't look quite so crude. I don't really want to tool this. What I want to do, well, I sort of want to tool it, but basically I want to dig down right around the edge here. And I want to get right down to the top of that pipe right there. There we go. Just needed to be able to get down in here into this joint. Now, let's say that for some reason the gap I put here is just too big. I need to narrow that up. I can actually mix some thin set mortar and actually fill in that space. It's meant for smaller areas like that, or doing a thin set. And so I can fill that in a little if I need to. At the time he's fitting in the fixture to mount the toilet, to put in the toilet mount. Alright, welcome back. It's a new day. So last weekend I cut this concrete and chipped it all out and then dug the hole a little bit on Sunday. The plumber came in on Monday, which was Labor Day, and redid all the plumbing and even refilled the hole for me. I came out yesterday, Saturday of the following weekend, and poured the concrete, put my first coat of mud on the wall, which is still a little damp, but I may go ahead and put my second coat on anyways. I'm trying to kind of push this through, rush it a little bit, get to the end. I gotta get the second coat on here so it's caught up with everything else, and then I'm ready to put my final coat on in here after I sand it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to scrape this down a little bit, put another coat on. This looks like it's mostly set up. I could probably walk on it now. You can tell it's darker in color, so it's still, drying, but it's definitely solid. It's more set up. You can see there, I can step on it. So all right, let me get some mud in my pan and grab a couple tools, and then we'll get this cleaned up some. Alright, let's get some mud on here. Alright, I think that is good. Let this dry over the weekend. I'll come back next weekend, go ahead and sand that up, and then I'll be all ready to put my final coat on in this bathroom. On all the walls, so very exciting. Progress.